What's up, guys and gals? It's your host of the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys some more Kengan Omega. Kengan Omega Chapter 197 review entitled The Golden 8 Seconds. Not 9 seconds, not 7 seconds, not even 6.16 seconds. That was a little specific. I wonder why. Probably not relevant. But 8 true seconds of golden time. Let's go, Okubo. Let's see what your trump card can do. And it's stopping his breathing. Okay, now, honestly, I like this ability. I don't mind it. I don't mind it as Okubo's trump card, but when I first read it, I was a little disappointed because Kengan has power creep like any sequel series, like any long-running series does have. But if we're going back to basics and stuff, not everyone is going to go Super Saiyan. Not everybody's going to have a version of Removal or the Advance or, have a Blast Core or a Devil Lance or something like that. Some of these fighters, like Seki, are just, they fight. They're just hard-hitting actual fighters. He's a pro wrestler. He uses pro wrestling moves, and he doesn't, have some crazy, the face paint stuff you could argue, but, you know what I mean? Not all the fighters are going to have some crazy superhuman feat or superhuman transformation or something like that, right? So, when I first read the chapter, I was like, really? That's all this is? Then, as I reread the chapter, and let it mull over for a night kind of idea, I went, you know what, this actually works. Because not only, they brought up Setsuna in this, and that this concept of the golden 8 seconds is similar to the way Setsuna fights, but not only Setsuna, what Kuroki Gensai, what Kano Agito uses. Remember, he uses the formless and the martial arts, and he was switching between them. But you know what the problem was? Lag time. There was a lag time between switching. It was not instantaneous, and the idea was to shorten that lag time. It's a very similar concept here with the golden 8 seconds. The idea is that Okubo takes in a huge amount of oxygen into his brain, then shuts it off pretty much, and goes purely on instinct and reflexes, and seemingly his attack speed increases. Now, they state that in the chapter, but I would go out on a limb and say that, not that the translation is wrong, but his strikes aren't actually necessarily faster. It's just that the lag time, his reflexes have increased because he's not thinking, he's not breathing, his brain is 100% just completely void and just focused on striking. And Okubo is a striker. He's an MMA fighter. He's an all-rounder. He's got grappling. He's got striking. He's got kicks. He's got a very versatile arsenal to utilize. And this is just, no, back to basics. I'm just going to 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 until I run out of oxygen, pretty much. So it's the golden 8 seconds because he can only hold this, of course, for 8 seconds because, as Koga brings up, it brings doing this, the amount of oxygen you seep into your brain. It's sort of like an adrenaline rush. That would be my best comparison. It's a bit of an adrenaline rush. And what it's doing is, though, it's putting heavy strain on the heart, lungs. I don't know why necessarily the heart. I'm not really sure why, probably because the lack of oxygen actually flowing for 8 seconds, I guess. But either way, it's, and is there any science behind this? I have no idea. Is this a concept that's actually factual and been proven, but it's just super exaggerated here, for the fighting, for the manga or something? Or is this a total manga concept? I have no idea. But it actually does work to an extent because Okubo, as I said, is sometimes even an underappreciated fighter in the series, and he is just using his striking power, and he's just going 1, 2 without even thinking. All that lag time between thinking about throwing the punch and actually throwing the punch and then following up with the second punch. There's 3 lag times right there. It's at least, at bare minimum, you have to, alright, I'm going to hit him in the face. There's 1 lag time. Then there's the actual motion of doing it. Then there's the follow-up of, okay, you could argue there's even 4 because then there's, okay, I'm going to now follow up hitting him here or hitting him in the face again. Okay, lag time, lag time, lag time, lag time. There's lag time all over that, right? Even if you're quick as hell, even if you're Gao Lang or Carlos and you're like, boom, 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 and you're just doing it, you're standing there and you've got perfect form, and as you're throwing this punch, you're already doing this, so boom, 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 and you're just doing it all the way through. Yeah, I took a couple of lessons, some martial arts classes. But anyways, fact of the matter is that if you're doing that, there's still a lag time, even if it's small. Kuroki Gensai capitalized on that in his fight against the Fang. And the idea is that lag time exists, and to shorten that and make it almost negligible is actually very useful. You wouldn't think it's useful, but it's incredibly useful in a fight because those milliseconds matter. Even if you shorten it down to a couple seconds, you know, shorten it down even further, right? Akoya's whole thing is his reaction time. His reaction time being insane. His crazy reflexes and his reaction time is what makes him such a dangerous and powerful fighter in the series. So at first, as I said, I was disappointed when I saw this. I was like, there's no Super Saiyan, there's no Blast Core, this is his trump card, just holding his breath. But no, it actually would be very devastating in the Kengan verse and in an actual fight, you know, if you were able to just seamlessly remove your lag time and just keep on striking. And that is all Okubo's doing. He takes in a big breath, and he goes up to Seki, and he just goes boom, 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 boom. You know, it's just the ora. You know, that's all he's doing with no lag time. And I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty cool. Now, the cool thing about that is at the end of the day, so he removes his lag time, fantastic, but it's only for 8 seconds. And Seki, being I don't do any of this. I don't do any of that. I don't dodge. I don't guard. I don't block. I am Hell's Angel Seki Bayashi. He plants his feet into the ground and he, bring it, bitch. You know, and that's all Seki. That's Seki's whole thing. In fact, upon my reread of Kengan Asura, where I'm almost done with the whole first round, I read the first round of the Seki fight already, right? Against our sumo man, Koizan. But yeah, I read that first round again, and yeah, the whole idea of him not guarding and not blocking and sticking to his pro wrestling ways, we're seeing that here, but he's not even doing that, he's also capitalizing upon it by slamming his right foot into the ground and allowing the reason, as I said, I brought up 6.16 seconds, is that Okubo ends up running out of air 2 seconds, just shy of 2 seconds before the golden 8 seconds is up, and he can't understand why. Then he realizes, what did Seki do? And there's this awesome shot where Seki, after taking all the blows, is down on his knees, he gets back up and Okubo just has to acknowledge, you are too damn cool, pro wrestler. And I'm like, yeah, the respect is there, because a lot of people, as I said, when this fight started, and it's much more Kengan than Kengan has been in a long time, people are like, aren't these guys supposed to be good? Like, why are they trying to literally kill each other? It's like, that's a Kengan match. They will literally go for a beer after this. You know, like, this is not new to anybody who read Asura. Omega just got a little soft on showcasing how brutal, you know, these fights become, even between friends and colleagues and stuff. So the idea here is that Seki, you know, slams his foot into the ground, he takes all those blows, and he's just like, you're so damn cool, the respect is there, it's fantastic. And then, just to open it all up, so the idea is, of course, when you're unstoppable force, immovable object, all that idea, but the idea is that Seki's taking a lot more damage because he's taking all those blows head on. But the reason the 8 seconds didn't last is because he's basically, wham, you know, he's hitting within it. So when Okubo's striking him, Seki's actually like, and, you know, throwing his chest out to absorb the blow and stuff, but take the damage, take the blow head on, and that's giving recoil time, it's giving a lot of stuff. It's explained in the chapter, of course. But, yeah, so this chapter is very much just, they fight. The art is really good. It's really solid. Once again, not maybe as clean or as brutal as some of the Asura fights and stuff, but I'm sure we're starting to get up in that, because this fight looks like it has a lot more passion behind it, got a lot more detail behind it. The art has been very solid throughout this fight, but I do think there's two schools of thought, because at the end of the chapter we have Seki. He's ready to go. Okubo's like, bring it, and Seki runs up and he uses Okubo's goddamn knee as a pivot, slams his foot on Okubo's knee, launches himself, and knee! Just knee right to the face. Boom, called. Now it's called Shining Wizard. Nah, that's kind of, I'm like, what the hell? Like, of course, over the top stage name type of stuff that is very in the line of Super Pro Wrestling. I'm not a big wrestling fan, so I don't know if Shining Wizard is, an actual thing in pro wrestling, or if it's just that's what they're calling it here. But either way, not so bad. Way to end the chapter, of course. A nice brutal shot of his knee right in Okubo's face. Now, you could argue, I'd like to say that this is Seki's W right here. That this is Seki's W. The problem with that is that, generally speaking, pacing-wise and in Kengan chapters, they normally don't have the finishing move end the chapter and then the match is over. Normally the end of the chapter is the end of the match. If the match is over with that last hit and Okubo's knocked out and we have a winner, generally speaking, that would be within the same chapter. The last hit and the end of the match is in the same chapter. So, I mean, I don't want to count all my chickens before the hatch. I'm not saying that the next chapter isn't that was the decisive blow, Okubo staggers, falls down, and then that's the end and Seki wins. I'd be happy with that. I still think that Seki has, especially with my Kengan reread, as I already talked about, Seki was so hyped and so appreciated in early Kengan, and now for some reason is being underappreciated like he's weak sauce or something, or just mid-tier. Seki's fucking strong, man. Seki is powerful. Once again, so is Okubo, but Seki Bayashi is just proving that he takes the beatings and he sticks to his guns, he sticks to his pro wrestling, and he's ready to just slam right back down into it. So, yeah, like, this could be the end of the fight. That could have been the decisive move. It might not be. I could see it both ways. I'm sort of leaning out on the fact that that's a great way to end a chapter, but if it's the decisive blow, end of the fight, and the next chapter opens up and Okubo just falls down and that's the end, that sort of feels like some Kaido shit from One Piece, right? Like, it was like, oh, we got the decisive blow, and the next chapter, beginning of the chapter, Kaido falls down. It's like, no. Give me 3 more pages and show that that's the end of the fight. End the chapter on the end of the fight. So pacing-wise, I would not like that, but is this been a solid fight, a great fight? Absolutely. Is this the end of the fight, though? Was that the decisive blow? Did Seki take the W? Because most people, I bet on Seki. Most people bet on Okubo. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Is 197 the decisive? Was the golden 8 seconds Okubo's trump card? Failed against Seki, and Seki used his own high knee, shining wizard knee attack against Okubo to win the fight? Or is this fight still got a whole nother chapter of great art and great passion behind it for us next week? Let me know down in the comment section down below, ladies and gentlemen. But definitely been enjoying Kengan. How about you guys? Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys back here next time for more Kengan Omega. Looking forward to it. There you guys are too. And we'll see you next time. Sayonara.